Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I travel to various places domestically and internationally without using much of my money. These travel reward cards that I use to travel throughout the world, throughout the US, and how I benefited and didn't really have to pay much for my plane ticket round trip to different cities in the US and recently to Korea and Spain. I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people always tell me or ask me, how do you fund your travels? How can you afford to go to all these places? And in 2012, a few years back, I opened up a credit card. I had credit cards before that, but I decided why not open a card that gives me an incentive to use the card and have some type of benefit or reward for using the credit and paying it off every month. So I want to start with the first card that I used for travel rewards, which is this Delta Gold SkyMiles card. Delta is my favorite US airlines. I am from Atlanta and they are based in Atlanta, so I love to fly Delta. Now with this card, I opened it in 2012 and I honestly lost count of how many times I used my SkyMiles on this card to fly domestically. It usually takes about 25,000 SkyMiles to fly anywhere domestically within the US. Don't quote me, it could be less than that. I'm not sure exactly how much that translates into dollar amount, but the good thing about this card is that when you apply, they waive the first year annual fee of $95, so you don't have to pay that. They usually give you a $50 credit that you can apply towards any Delta purchase, and they also give you 30,000 to 35,000 SkyMiles when you apply. They say that you do have to, spend within your first 3 months of having the card. This card, you earn 1 mile per dollar that you spend and also double miles for any Delta purchase. So any purchases that you make on Delta.com for a flight will count for 2 miles per dollar that you spend on Delta.com or to book any Delta flights on their website directly through Delta. So this card, the first trip I took, I believe, was to California when I didn't live in California. I used to fly to Southern California to visit my friends all the time, and I would always book using my SkyMiles. And it usually, like I said, it usually took about 25,000 SkyMiles. So I've used this to go to California, New York, and Chicago, all for basically just using this card regularly. But it's great that they waive the first year's annual fee. So this is my first card, and I do recommend it for anybody who loves to fly Delta and just wants an introductory credit card to use. Then I decided to open up another card, a Delta SkyMiles Platinum card, which is this silver one here. I decided to open up this card last summer when they had a promotion of when you first apply, they gave me 60,000 SkyMiles, and they also gave me a $100 credit for Delta within the first 3 months of making at least, I think it was at least $2,000 in purchases and paying that amount off by the end of 3 months after you applied for this card. Now this card is a little bit more. There's a $195 annual fee for this Platinum SkyMiles card. However, it already kind of paid for itself because within the first month I used $100 credit to book a flight for my mom. So that took off $100. And then when you fly with Delta or any airline, they always charge baggage fees for check-in bags. And the good thing about this is that when you have a Delta SkyMiles card, you can waive your check-in baggage and anybody that travels with you. So my brother, for instance, recently bought a ticket with Delta, not with my card, but since I had this card, they waived the checked baggage fees for us when we flew from Atlanta to San Francisco. So you and your family and friends, anybody that flies with you would get that free checked baggage for up to 1 bag. You obviously have your 2 carry-ons and then your 1 checked luggage. And that saves you money each time you fly because usually it's $25 each way for a checked bag. I think that that annual fee, even though it's $195, it may sound like a lot. If you fly and you travel a lot, it kind of pays for itself as long as you're utilizing all the offers and promotions that they're giving you, taking advantage of that checked baggage, and also taking advantage of the free credit that they give you. So this one, you get a $100 free credit towards any Delta purchase within the first 3 months if you spend $2,000. When I opened up this card, I was able to fly to Spain and Korea. When I moved over to Korea, I used my 30,000 SkyMiles to fly over there. And then when I flew back from Spain, I also used the 30,000 miles to fly back. So it was all beneficial, and I had, a lot of luggage with me. I didn't have to pay for my luggage unless it's overweight or overpacked heavy luggage. But this card saved me from, having to pay out of pocket like $1,000, because that ticket to Spain round trip would have been around $1,000. So would the ticket to Korea. I love to fly Delta. I think they have one of the best customer service in the airline industry, and they have movies on the flight. They give you, you know, checked baggage for free. There's just so many benefits with flying with Delta as compared to flying United or American Airlines. I'm from Atlanta, like I said, so Delta's based in Atlanta, so I usually pick the Delta flight even when I didn't have these cards. So now that I have them, it just kind of makes me have a more incentive to fly Delta. Now there are other cards for other airlines, obviously. I just love Delta, unless you want to fly United, which I'm not even going to go into that, what happened on United recently. But Delta is the way to go. I'm not sponsoring Delta. I just love that airline to fly anywhere in the US and domestically, because they do have a lot of airway partners or whatever. The way that I went around spending $2,000 within the first 3 months of applying for this card, I added my mom to this account. It's under my credit, but they send her an extra card. So basically we're on the same account. We have 2 separate cards. And what it does is, so anytime she charges something to this card and she pays it off, it deposits the SkyMiles into my account. So when my mom had a huge insurance premium to pay, like $1,000, I was like, Mom, use my card. And what that does is it was easier for me to hit that $2,000 mark without me spending like crazy, because that can happen and you have to be careful with spending credit because you could get into debt, and if you don't pay that off, that's not good. But if you have family members or anybody you know that's making a large purchase, it's great to take advantage of this, and even when it's not in promotional period, to hit that $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 mark, depending on the card. When you know someone who's having a big purchase, just tell them, put it on my card, and then you can give it to me in cash, or you can help me pay it off at the end of the month. And also when you go eat, if your friends all have cash, or if you eat out in a group, or you want to take up the check, you can get everybody's cash and then give the restaurant your card, so that you're able to double up on this amount of spending, and you'll still have the cash to pay that amount off at the end of the month when your bill is due. So that's how I get around to building SkyMiles. I use it for everything. So these 2 cards are my main ones that I use for airline travel, to book flights with Delta, to get SkyMiles, and to build my credit. They keep upping my credit without me asking, which is bad, but I just try to make sure that I don't overspend or don't spend more than I should. I don't even use debit cards anymore. I'm strictly on credit cards, just because this is great for no foreign transaction fees, no checked baggage fees, and the APR is not that bad depending on your credit. It could range anywhere from, I think, 15% to maybe 20% APR. I think I'm saying that correctly. Don't quote me. You're gonna have to double check, because every period or so they're gonna have different offers. Right now, the offer for this card is 30,000 SkyMiles when you apply, and then a $50 credit with the first year's $95 annual fee waived. And then the Platinum SkyMiles card is 35,000 SkyMiles, I'm sorry. And you also get a $100 credit if you spend at least a certain amount within the first 3 months of applying, and then you do have to pay that $195 fee. Oh, I forgot to mention, with this card, you also, every year upon the anniversary of when you opened up this account, they also issue you a companion ticket. So you can use that companion ticket for any of your family or friends to book travel for them as well. So if you want someone to come with you on a trip, you can book it with the SkyMiles voucher that they will give you every year on the anniversary of when you opened up this card. I haven't had this card for a year yet. I think I'm gonna have it in July, so I don't know who's gonna be the lucky person that gets that companion ticket, but I'm gonna keep up with it and try to book travel with someone who's gonna be traveling to me or with me. So yeah, these 2 cards I love, love, love. The last card I want to talk about is a card that I opened up, I think, right when I moved to Korea, because I had a balance. I had some credit card debt, not gonna lie, and I wanted to make sure that the card that I had, that I could make purchases and not have any interest on it until the year after. So I opened up this Capital One Venture card, and the good thing about this card is there's no annual fee. That's a plus, and you will earn unlimited 1.25 miles per dollar on every purchase. Now when I opened up this card, they gave me 20,000 miles, and that is equal to about $200 in travel credit. The way that this works is a little different than the SkyMiles card. So for instance, last summer I went to the Grand Canyon, I went to Utah, and I rented a car. At the time, I spent more than I wanted to spend, so when I got my bill back, I was like, oh gosh, I really don't want to spend the whole amount that I charged for this card for that summer trip. So what I did was I went back and I looked at my gas, or my car rental, which was around $290 or something for the week, and I went in and I erased that charge with the SkyMiles that I had. So I had enough to cover that expense. So the great thing about this card is that it's not just for airline travel, it's for any type of travel related expense, like I said. So gas, hotel, cruises, car rentals, flights, you name it. Anything that is, you know, related to travel, you can go back and erase the amount that you charge if you have enough miles in your account to do so. No annual fee and no foreign transaction fees. And when I opened it within the first year, there was no interest for the first 12 months, which makes this card absolutely awesome. So if you're looking for a card where you don't want the annual fee and you want it to just be used towards any type of travel, this is a good effing card to have. I still use this. I use it more for, like I said, travel related expenses, and any big purchases I use on the other cards, because I'm still, right now, I'm trying to build up my mileage so that I can have enough to go somewhere by the time my birthday comes. I have to admit, it takes forever to build up SkyMiles, guys, unless you're flying really often or you're a big spender. So like I said, the best way to take advantage of these cards is to try to make sure that you use them for every purchase that you make. Gas, groceries, movies, eating, friends, you know, bills. If you can, you know, bill every month. Every month my cell phone bill is charged with this card, and I pay it off every month. So make sure that you utilize these cards and make sure you take advantage of the incentives that they're offering you, and do not go overboard, because that can happen as well. Like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get miles, but then if you don't pay off your bill, you're not gonna get shit. So just make sure that you use your credit cards wisely and spend your credit responsibly. Make sure you pay it off every month, and don't miss that deadline when your bill is due. I've been seeing the Chase Reserve or Sapphire Blue card. So the thing with these travel cards is every so often they're gonna have different promotions. Every card's gonna run different promotions during different periods. So if you keep an eye out, you know, take a look at all the fine print, read through it, make sure that the APR is not something ridiculous and that you're able to pay off that amount. You make sure that your credit's good to even apply for these cards. They'll tell you what you need to apply. Obviously, you probably need some credit, 18 years or older, to open up these cards. And just make sure you pay off your bill every month and don't pay it late, or your interest rate is going to go up and that's not going to look good on your credit. I'm not sure if I'm going to open up another one. I have 3. That's quite a bit already, but if I find something that suits me in terms of benefits, rewards, and incentives, then I might apply for another one. So that's it, guys. If you have, if you're a traveler or you take advantage of travel reward cards, I would love to hear what card is working for you and why you love it, why you hate it, what cards to avoid. This concludes the video about these travel reward cards and how to use them to benefit you and travel for free using SkyMiles. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If there's anything that you want to ask me, or any suggestions, comments, concerns, worries, whatever, pop them in the comment section below. Please subscribe to my channel. Love to hear from you guys. Love to read your comments. If you have any suggestions for new videos, please, 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 please tell me. I'm running out of ideas every now and then. I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye-bye.